Failing to file this report for 60 days could result in a $30,000 fine. That's why it's so crucial to understand the seriousness of these penalties.
I knew as soon as I saw this video in my YouTube feed that I had to share it with you all to help you avoid getting up to a $500 per day fine from the IRS if you don't know about filling out this form. I'll link the full video down in the description so you can watch the whole thing if you want to, but I'm going to react to this and watch it with you and kind of pause it and explain some things so you know exactly how this impacts you.
So starting January 1st, 2024, the Corporate Transparency Act requires detailed reporting to the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, which is part of the U.S. Treasury, aimed at reducing financial crimes like money laundering. This law affects almost every small business owner in the U.S., including those involved with e-commerce. So this law now requires businesses in the United States to report individuals who own or control the business, and must report this through a new form called a Beneficial Ownership Report, or BOIR. So who needs to take action? Who needs to actually fill out this form and submit it? So domestic reporting companies, or LLCs, S-Corps, or similar structures must file a report if they are registered through any Secretary of State. So if you have a sole proprietorship, then you do not have to submit this form.
Okay, so let's break down what she's talking about. So this is a form that anyone who has an LLC or an S-Corp needs to fill out for their business. If you are a sole proprietorship, which if you don't know what that means, don't worry. It just means that you opened up your Etsy shop or your business using your social security number. So you're not actually registered as a business. So then in that case, you don't have to fill out this report. So if you haven't filed an LLC or an S-Corp in your business, then this won't affect you. But I do recommend watching this video because if you do open an LLC or an S-Corp in this year, 2024, when I'm making this, then you actually have to file this within the next 90 days. So it's really important that you understand what goes into this.
Unless it was created through your Secretary of State. The second type of company that needs to fill out this report are foreign reporting companies. So if you operate a foreign business but are registered to do business in the US, you are also required to comply. There are 23 exemptions for entities not required to submit this form. Generally, these exemptions apply to companies with 20 or more full-time employees and over $5 million in gross receipts for the previous year. Other exemptions include not-for-profits, banks, tax-exempt entities, and I'll make sure to throw a link in the description box so that has the full list of exemptions.
I'll put the links down in the description below as well with an FAQ and the exemptions, so you can go down there below. But again, I will link Angel's video as well if you want to watch the whole thing.
So if you're not exempt, and most businesses are not exempt, you need to complete this form. I'll keep you updated on any changes to this ruling, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any important information. Just imagine if nothing changes by January 2025 and you forget to submit this form, you could be facing really hefty fines and penalties, like thousands of dollars in unexpected fines or worse. So who qualifies as a beneficial owner? And who should be listed on this form? A beneficial owner is defined as someone who either directly or indirectly exercises significant control over a company, like a CEO or someone who owns or controls at least 25% of a business. For instance, if you and another partner jointly own your business, both of you should be listed as beneficial owners on the report. Similarly, if you and 3 others own 25% of a business, all 4 of you must be declared as beneficial owners. Essentially, anyone with a 25% or greater ownership stake must be reported. If the ownership is less than that, then there's no need to include it on the form. If your business was established before January 1st, 2024, you have until January 1st, 2025 to submit this form. This deadline applies to all corporations, LLCs, and businesses that are not exempt as of January 1st, 2024, or who are part of the recent Alabama Supreme Court ruling, which I'll discuss further later. So essentially, you're given a year to fill out this form. Now, if you are a new business that was created after January 1st, 2024, or if you're getting ready to create a business this year, then the rules are different for you. You only have 90 days from receiving public notice that its creation or registration is effective to submit this form before you are subject to fines and penalties.
And I will give a disclaimer, I am not an accountant, so this is not something that I have an expertise in, but I did reach out to my own accountant and he confirmed that I will need to be filling this out as well. And if I open up any other LLCs or S corporations, then I would need to fill it out even sooner. So definitely if you've opened one this year, feel free to talk talk to your accountant to make sure it gets filled out correctly, but I would get that taken care of sooner than later because it sounds like the fines that you can get for this are actually pretty hefty.
According to the government website for this form submission, an individual who willfully fails to meet the Beneficial Ownership Information, or BOI, reporting requirements could face civil penalties of up to $500 per day for each day the violation continues. For example, failing to file this report for 60 days could result in a $30,000 fine. That's why it's so crucial to understand the seriousness of these penalties, because they are substantial. Additionally, such violations can lead to criminal penalties, including up to 2 years in jail or prison and fines up to $10,000. And with the amount we already pay in taxes, it's important to avoid these extra financial burdens. Now, on March 1st, 2024, a federal district court in Alabama ruled that the Corporate Transparency Act is unconstitutional. So a lot of people mistakenly think that they're off the hook, but that is not true. Companies and persons that were not a plaintiff to the case or members of the NSBA as of March 1st, 2024, at this time assume that FinCEN continues to view them as subject to the CTA or the Corporate Transparency Act. Although individual circumstances of companies may vary, in general, companies should be prepared to meet any timelines for filings required by the CTA. Next, I'm going to demonstrate how to fill out this form, and I'm going to throw a link in the description where you can download and fill out this PDF yourself.
So like I said, I'll link Angel's video down in the description where she actually goes through all of the BOIR and what it looks like and how to fill it out. And I will link the form that you need to fill out down in the description for you so you can go fill this out for yourself if you have an LLC or an S Corp. Again, I will link down the FAQs for if you are a foreign entity, if you don't live in the United States, so you can figure out if this applies to you or not. And if you haven't opened your Etsy shop at all just yet and you're wondering how you should open it, you can absolutely open an LLC before you even open your Etsy account, but don't feel like you have to. You actually can just open it with your social security number, and you could update it and add your LLC's information at any point in the future. Just remember that if you file as an LLC at any point this year, you'd have to fill out this form within 90 days. Now definitely give Angel a subscribe, check out her channel because she is going to continue updating on this topic if there are any updates in the future.